before before war, before civilization had even figured itself out. There was Cain, the very first human being born on earth, and the very first murderer in recorded history. Today we're diving into one of the most unsettling, brutal, and honestly underrated stories in the entire Bible. Buckle up. Welcome back. If you're new here, we cover the darkest, strangest, and most overlooked corners of religious history and ancient texts. Today's subject: Cain, son of Adam and Eve, a man whose story raises questions that theologians have been arguing over for literally thousands of years. So here's the setup. Genesis chapter 4. Adam and Eve have just been expelled from the Garden of Eden. Humanity is, essentially, two people in a field, and then they have children. Their first son is Cain, a farmer. Their second son is Abel, a shepherd. On paper, this sounds peaceful. Two brothers working the land. But something is rotting underneath the surface from the very beginning. Both brothers bring offerings to God. Abel brings the best of his flock, the fat portions, the firstborn animals. Cain brings some crops from the ground, and God, for reasons the text doesn't fully explain, favors Abel's offering over Cain's, rejected, publicly, by God himself. The Bible says Cain's face fell. He was furious, and God notices, warning him, and this is a direct quote from Genesis 4:7. Sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is for you, but you must rule over it. Cain does not rule over it. What happens next is chilling in how simple it is. Cain says to Abel, "Let's go out to the field." That's it. No long argument, no dramatic buildup in the text. Just, let's go to the field. And there, Cain kills his brother, Abel. Genesis 4:8. The first homicide in human history. What's gruesome isn't just the act itself, it's what it means. This isn't a war. This isn't self-defense. There are no bystanders, no political motives, no resources to fight over. This is pure, personal rage and jealousy, and it ends with a man dead in a field with no witnesses, except God. What method did Cain use? The Bible doesn't say, but ancient Jewish traditions, including texts like the Book of Jubilees, suggest Cain beat Abel to death with a stone. Other traditions say farming tools. Either way, it was personal, close, and violent. The silence of the text makes it worse, honestly. Then God asks Cain, and this is haunting, "Where is your brother Abel?" And Cain, cool as you like, says, "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper?" The first murder and the first lie in the same breath. God responds, "What have you done? Listen, your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground." The image here is visceral. Abel's blood, soaked into the earth, is literally screaming to heaven. Ancient Hebrew audiences would have found this deeply disturbing. Blood was sacred, life was in the blood, and spilled blood polluted the land itself. God then curses Cain. The ground that drank Abel's blood will no longer yield crops for him. He is cut off from farming, the only thing he knew, and he is condemned to be a restless wanderer on the earth. No home, no community, forever moving. Here's where it gets even more interesting. Cain's response to this curse isn't remorse, it's fear. He says, "My punishment is more than I can bear. Whoever finds me will kill me." Wait, whoever finds him? Remember, at this point in the story, human civilization is basically four people: Adam, Eve, Cain, and now, nobody, because Abel is dead. So, who is Cain afraid of? This has been a mystery for centuries. Some scholars suggest the text implies there were other people outside of Adam's family, pre-existing humans or other communities. Others say it refers to future generations. Either way, Cain is terrified of vengeance, and God, in a move that confuses a lot of readers, protects him. God places a mark on Cain, warning that anyone who kills him will suffer sevenfold vengeance. What is the mark? The Bible doesn't describe it. It's been interpreted as everything from a physical brand to a tattoo to a horn to a changed appearance. We genuinely don't know. What we do know is that Cain goes to the land of Nod, has a family, and his descendants build the first city in the Bible. The man who committed the first murder becomes the founding father of civilization. Let that sink in. Cain's story doesn't stop in Genesis. It echoes throughout religious history. In the New Testament, 1 John 3:12 calls Cain a child of the evil one. The Book of Enoch and other apocryphal texts paint him as almost demonic, a forefather of wickedness. In the Quran, his story appears too, with the powerful detail of a raven showing Cain how to bury his brother's body. Because Cain had never seen death before, he didn't even know how to deal with what he'd done. Even Beowulf, the Old English epic, references a monster descended from Cain. His shadow stretches across thousands of years of literature, religion, and myth. Cain is terrifying not because he's a monster. He's terrifying because he's human. Jealousy, rejection, rage, and one irreversible act. The Bible doesn't dress it up. It gives you the story raw in a handful of verses and lets the horror speak for itself. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe. We go deep on stories like this every week. Drop in the comments. Do you feel any sympathy for Cain? Because honestly, it's complicated. See you next time.